Well, gentlemen, thank you all very much. Coach Clark, just start with you. You know, I'm a very big picture guy, so we're trying to tell a big picture. What has it been like to have moved? You know, we'd love to tell you a story going back to the fall, to have moved to the spring, and now we've only played one game in the spring, and we've missed a couple of games. Have you ever seen anything like this?
I don't think any of us have seen anything like this. The big picture would be it's extremely frustrating, but it's part of the new norm, I guess, what we're going through. So we're doing the best we can as coaches to keep our guys motivated, to make sure they stay focused, you know, not only on the field, but also off the field in the classroom, because that's also been a challenge, and making sure they're taking precautions on campus, you know, because regular students are not getting tested as much as we're getting tested. So we want to make sure our guys are being masked, make sure they're washing their hands repeatedly. So it's been frustrating when it comes to the part of playing, but it's also been a situation because we are learning, we are growing. You know, fundamentals on the field have gotten better because of all the practice that we've had in doing those things. But it's been frustrating, probably the best word to use.
How are the players through all this?
They're doing well. Most of them are focused. I thought by now they'd be frustrated and be ready to give up and say, hey, coach, let's just opt out of this thing and go back and come in the fall. But no, they're excited about playing these games. They want to play these 3 games. They're excited about doing it. You know, we've had conversations with them, and all of them seem to be on the same page. No one's come to us and say, hey, coach, we're just tired of this practice and everything else. They've all excited. They come to the practice every day. They're practicing hard. Like I said, they're getting better fundamentally. We've been working. The crazy part is we probably worked 3 or 4 different teams. We started with Kennesaw. We did Gardner-Webb. We did Charleston Southern. We did Monmouth. So we pretty much studied a whole lot of teams. So it's been kind of switched up on us. So it's been exciting for them because we switched up game plans a lot. But again, they're all focused. They all want to get after it.
Coach, have you and your staff been more than creative as far as keeping people engaged? I mean, has it been a challenge for you to be more creative in practice?
Well, the most creative thing we've done is we took a whole week off and we lost all 3 of our centers because we had no one to snap the ball. So that was probably the biggest creative week, just doing what we call colonial games, just doing different things, going against each other with obstacle courses and playing hard, and the strength and conditioning coach keeping where they need to be at. But the thing we've done is just kind of stayed steady. You know, we've worked more on situational football than anything else, making sure we work our third down stuff, our red zone stuff, just making sure our coaches are covering those things with every aspect of the game. Want to make sure we cover those situations. So that's the only way we've been really inventive in the things that we've done.
Bernard, with the postponements, with the number of positive tests and everything, do you guys have like a percentage that needs to be hit to say like, we can't play this game? Or is it like the center thing where it's like, it's a position group, and I guess how badly were you guys kind of affected ahead of those 2 postponed games?
Well, the postponed games, they were affected because if you have 7 offensive linemen and one of them's a center and you have 53 guys, they say we can play the game. But the problem we had was when our offensive lineman was contracted with COVID, contract tracing hit all 3 of our centers. So we had no one to snap the ball. So that's what hit us. But if you have 7 offensive linemen and one of them is a center, and you have 4 defensive linemen and you can play the game, those are parameters in which we want to continue to play the game. But we couldn't do it because we didn't have a center at the time. And on top of that, our starting quarterback also went down with contact tracing. Now, that is not a big of an issue because we have backup quarterbacks, but when you lose all 3 of your centers, there's not really much you can do. So those are parameters in which you cannot play the game.
Are you guys hoping to be full strength or close to full strength for this weekend?
We're close to full strength. I mean, I don't know if anybody's full strength right now. I mean, as you can see, Tennessee, Chattanooga, they opted out. Cal Poly opted out just because of the simple fact that we don't know how to fill it out right now. You're not sure how hard to push your guys because you've never been in a situation where you've played games in the spring. Over the past 2 years, we've learned to practice at this time in spring for spring football. We've practiced at this time from February to March, and we're usually done by April. But it's a situation you've never played games, so you don't know, do you go full pads? Do you go half pads? Do you go just helmets? So you're trying to figure all those things out and make sure your guys stay healthy. And on top of that, you want to make sure your guys stay healthy for now. And also, when you get in the fall, you're going to still need those guys healthy. So we're trying to make sure we can map those things out as well as we can. And myself and assistant coaches, we sit down and we talk it out. And we want to make sure, hey, guys, today we're being full pads, today we're being uppers, and we want to make sure our guys stay healthy, probably more than anything.
Matthew, how bizarre has this been?
It's been off the wall. It's every day, every week. It seems like there's something new. How we said there's been new teams we practice for, stuff like that. But we just got to stay sharp. Just got to stay ready and just adapt and adjust to whatever's thrown at us next.
Was it Matthew? Was it defeating at all? So that you guys find out that you play your first game against James Madison. That's on the 27th of February, and now you're looking at a month gone by here. The first game, the Monmouth game gets postponed, and then the next one. At any point, are you thinking like, man, is this worth it here? Or are any of your teammates thinking that?
Honestly, no, and I give credit to a lot of our teammates for not being that way. And I think it's kind of like a culture thing. Just kind of, yeah, we were frustrated. Yeah, it's whatever, but you just can't give up. We still have 3 games to play. 3 important games to play, and there's a lot of us just really excited to 1, play, and then 2, play in a new conference. New challenges, new teams. So at first, there's always frustration, but after that, it's just kind of, it is what it is, and just got to go out and practice and do what you have to do.
John, I think the big thing for our guys is when you go from a situation where you hadn't had a winning season since 2010, and then you had the season we had in 2019, our guys see what they're capable of doing, and they see that coaches are believing in them, they're believing in the coaches. They're eager to get back at it. So I think they want to see where we can go with this thing more than anything else. And I think that's the excitement that they have, and that's why they're able to come to practice every day. And the new parts that we've added to our team, some of the transfers we brought in and some of the freshmen we brought in, those guys are excited to see what those guys can do. And we played pretty tough against James Madison. Again, there's no moral victories. We're not excited about that. But our guys played hard, and they played tough compared to what happened to us in 2018. And how we played against James Madison, and a second half, we don't miss a play here, miss a play there. Things happen differently at James Madison, but it's a situation where our guys are excited to see what can happen with our football team, and I think that's what keeps pushing them, John.
Gabe, how hard is it to operate practice as an offensive coordinator without your centers?
Yeah, that's a challenge. That's probably why we did what we did. And didn't have a lot of practice time when we didn't have any centers. It was more when we did go out there a couple of times, it was more, throwing 7-on-7 and doing those things. But I mean, this whole thing is, to me, it's just, if you focus on the craziness of it, then it can put your mind in that state. But to me, we just do what we have to do today to prepare, and just trying to keep everybody on that deal. And that doesn't change today. We just want to have a great practice on Wednesday today to get ready so we can play our best on Saturday. But if you focus on all the externals that are not in any of our control, then it can drive you absolutely insane. So, but that's, that comes down to our mindset and how we're approaching it. So, we got those guys back now. And like I said, our focus today, let's just have a great Wednesday practice, get ready to go.
Over the last few weeks, how frequently have you guys been practicing? Per week, I guess.
Is that me or Gabe?
Oh, either of you guys, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, we're practicing doing this month bye week that we've had. we practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on a consistent basis. Sometimes we'll take Friday off. Sometimes we'll take Saturday off. It all depends on how we feel our guys are health-wise. We feel like we got too many guys banged up here or there. We've had some guys tweak a hamstring here, tweak a hamstring there. But Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday have been consistent days for us. We've taken off some Fridays. We've taken off some Saturdays, but those have been consistent days. Last couple of weeks, we've practiced on Sundays just to come back and make sure our guys are sharp mentally and where they need to go at. And so things have been exciting.
I know it's been more than a month. I'm sorry, John, go ahead. I was going to say to Dave, I know it's been more than a month since the James Madison game, and I was telling Coach Clark in the week after that game how impressive the defense looked. If you can, Dave, talk to the defense's performance in that James Madison game and how you came out of it.
First, I thought our guys had a great attitude, and Matt can attest to this. Matt's one of the leaders on our defense, and the big thing going into that game we weren't focusing on the 2018 game. Our big focus was on, what can we do now? How can we prepare now? And, we knew that, they're a really good team, very talented team, just like every team we're going to go against this year in our new conference. But at the end of the day, and I thought Matt and the other leaders did a great job of going to the game, that if you focus on yourself and you focus on doing your little task at a high level, you can do extraordinary things. And that's what I think they ended up doing in the first half. And, you look at the first half and, they came out with a aggressive attack. Our guys on defense, they weren't afraid. They weren't backing down. They were fighting. They were running to the ball. They were doing things right. And in that first half, you hold a team like that to 16 points. You had 3 interceptions, provided some good field position for our offense. It was a heck of an effort that first half. And then in the second half, you can see, some guys try to do too much. They try to go beyond what they needed to do. And that's when you started having misalignments, missed assignments. And that's when, James Madison started to hit on a little bigger plays and run the ball more consistently and then get in the end zone, the red zone. But I was very proud of the guys' effort. I think they came out and competed, and it was just a stepping stone to see what they can do themselves at a high level. And I thought that game really broadened their eyes. They'd say, hey, I can do this. Hey, what we're doing as a team, we're capable of this. And that's what we really got out of it. And it was a great stepping stone, going on to the next game, which was Monmouth, but now going into Kennesaw. I think our guys' mindset on defense has been awesome during this whole thing. I'm very proud of the guys. Every day they come out to practice with a great attitude. So to have those type of guys, those type of leaders like Matt on our defense, I'm proud to coach them, and I'm proud to get after it this week with them.
And Coach, in that, I almost said Kennesaw State, that's this week, in the James Madison game, Jacob White went down, and I believe Coach Clark, when we talked after that game, you said Taven Harville was a little dinged up too. With this month by, are they going to both be healthy for this upcoming game on Saturday?
So Taven – oh, sorry, Coach, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Dave, you got it.
I was to say Taven's been practicing with us the last couple of weeks. He's good. He had a little hamstring issue, but he's been looking good. He's been practicing hard. Jacob White's still a little banged up. He's trying to get back out there. He's trying to move around a little bit. So, we'll see with Jacob. I don't foresee him being in it, but he still might. He's trying his butt off to get back in the 2 deep and to get that starting spot back.
Dave, have you guys been hitting enough in practice for your liking? With the game coming up now.
For Matt, you can answer this question, Matt. For my liking, what do you think?
I don't know if it even reaches his liking, but to a normal person, yeah.
Thanks, Matt. Normal person. No, the guys have been practicing. I mean, we've been hitting, we've been thudding, not as much in the past or not as much as I'd like, but we got to keep these guys healthy. And they've been, the great thing about Matt and the other guys, no matter, what we asked, we say jump, they say how high. They've been fantastic and they're really buying into what we're preaching. But, there's been no live periods, if that's what you're asking. We haven't been live, like taking guys to the ground, but getting off blocks, playing cut blocks, playing blocks, thudding up and grabbing and finishing tackles, but not bringing them to the ground, we have been doing. Speaking
of blocking schemes, how tough is it to practice for what Kennesaw State does offensively?
Extremely. It is. It's a whole different offense. However, we've had about 3 weeks to prepare for it. So, our guys have, if they don't know the triple option offense by now and what they're trying to do, it's shame on us as coaches. They've done a good job, but it's difficult. It's totally different. Playing cut blocks, playing the different option schemes of what you may get, the different formations. So it's been difficult, but our guys are up for it. I think they've been preparing really well, and they're buying into the scheme we're using and the different little addeds that we have in going in. But it's, to answer your question, it's difficult, but again, our guys they'll be prepared for it.
The biggest thing with the option that we're always going to face, it's a discipline aspect of it. It's not about how tough it is. It's being disciplined enough to take the quarterback when you're supposed to take the quarterback, take the dive when you're supposed to take the dive, take the pitch. And on top of that, making sure your secondary is watching the guys that are going out for passes as opposed to who's coming out to block them. So it's a discipline aspect of it that's really, really hard for us. The other thing about the option is when it comes to time of possession, they do a great job in the option of holding the football. They go in 7-8 minutes per quarter. So you want to try to get as many possessions as you can on offense. So that's where thing we want to talk about. I want to make sure our offense gets just as many possessions as their offense gets. So those are things that we look forward to. But it's the discipline aspect of it, and the time of possession is extremely tough when you're going against an option team.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for these guys?
Yeah, getting ready to travel. I mean, I know you traveled for one game so far. This is going to be a trip that's a little more extended than what Robert Morris has been used to in the past. Can you talk about preparing the guys for that, Coach?
Well, the biggest aspect of it, Chris, is that we're going to fly. This is the first time we're going to fly down there. We're going to fly commercial. We're not going to fly charter, just because it saves the school a little bit of money. So we're going to fly commercial. So going down there with Southwest and making sure we're staying there and doing those things, it's just the whole travel aspect of it. Make sure guys have their IDs and all the little small things that I'd rather not worry about as a head coach, but I have to worry about because I want Coach Gabe and Coach Dave thinking about offense and defense and not thinking about this guy not having his ID, this guy not bringing his socks, this guy not wearing the sweatsuit he's supposed to wear. So I'll handle all that crazy stuff that we have to deal with. But the thing about it, I think our guys are also excited about, being able to get on a plane and fly to a game and getting there and staying an extra night, being around family and making sure those things are important, but making sure also we still stay social distancing. Again, that's the other challenge with it, making sure we're social distancing after the game and making sure we're not going out to restaurants and being smart about those things. But I think they're excited about it, Chris. I think it's a great opportunity for them. It's a chance for them to, like I said, hop on a plane and fly to a game and enjoy themselves and go and play the best that we can play, get it done, do our responsibility. That's what teamwork is all about, doing what's required of you, not doing anything more, anything less, just doing your teamwork, doing what's required of you, and, doing what we need to do to have a victory.